Risk Management Plan by Rijad Luznakovich and Roby Habersham. The 5 risk management process steps. Identify the risk, analyze the risk, evaluate the risk, treat the risk, monitor and review the risk. This process will be used to analyze the next 3 cases that we put in our outline for our risk management plan. Example cases 1 to 3. Case 1. Georgian man drowned in Lake Lanier, leading to the death of the victim. The 20-year-old man was swimming at Lake Lanier Islands in Sunset Cove when he went on the water near a swimming dock. The incident occurred at about 4 o'clock p.m. All county fire and rescue crews responded to the scene and pulled the body out of the water slightly less than an hour later. He eventually died from drowning before the policemen could help. Case 2. Barbara Howard. As next friend to her minor daughter, appellant Jamie Howard appeals a Howard County Superior Court order dismissing her personal injury claim against appellee State of Georgia DBA Lake Lanier Island based upon appellant's failure to comply with the anti-lithium notice provision contained in our Georgia State Tort Claims Act OCGA 5021-20 ET. Case 3. The judge presiding over the Jacksonville, Florida case involving Lake Lanier has reached his verdict. His conclusion is that Atlanta will no longer be allowed to use water from Lake Lanier unless Georgia, Alabama, and Florida don't settle the dispute within 3 years. The 3 states have been arguing over the water in Lake Lanier for decades. In the court case, Alabama and Florida argued that Lake Lanier was never built as for supplying water to neighboring cities, and only Congress has the authority to allow such usage. U.S. District Judge Paul Mungerson agreed. More info on each case. Case 1. If your loved one drowned because he or she was pushed in the water and he or she could not swim, then this will be a reason to sue for liability. Also, many drowning incidents can be litigated as premises liabilities if there is an individual that owns the property and failed to prevent the incident. Sometimes a property owner can be held liable for an incident merely because of a lack of care for the safety of others on the property. For example, if a property owner fails to fix a rickety dock and it collapses, causing a man to drown underneath, the property owner will be held responsible. Case 2. This case is about equitable apportionment, which at its most fundamental level is about how much of the AOC water each state is entitled to use by law. Case 3. If the matter isn't settled within 3 years, the court will roll back the releases to mid-1970s levels, meaning only Gainesville and Beaufort will be allowed to withdraw water from the lake. That will be good news for Lake Lanier as there will be less strain on its resources, but potentially devastating for Atlanta, which would have to look elsewhere for water. Identify risks. The risk in case 1 would be the swimming dock / water park equipment where the man fell and he drowned in. The risk in case 2 would be either false accusations made by the woman for someone who gets injured but doesn't realize until after they left the park / days after the event, or someone who files against the water park but is denied the case, but they can potentially reopen the case later on about the water park. The risk in case 3: less water to the city in general and less water to the park. Furthermore, causing the park to either be shut down by the city. Analyzing case 1. The likelihood of your park equipment causing risk is at 100%. The consequence will be getting sued and losing value / customers at your own business because you did not take the safety precautions in which you needed to take to make sure that the swimming dock was indeed safe to walk on. Analyzing case 2. The likelihood of this risk occurring is quite often. The consequence for this risk would be having to deal with a problem that wasn't brought to your attention immediately or having to deal with whether the incident occurred on your property. Also, another unlisted case 2 would be having to deal with the risk later on down the road than handling the problem immediately. Analyzing case 3. The likelihood of this risk coming about is occasionally. Consequence of this risk would be states not giving an equal amount of water to provide to their cities, first determining if you can run your water park or not. Evaluating risk. Evaluating the risk in case 1. The risk of the magnitude of the risk destroying the water park business is high. The risk is not acceptable and warrants treatment immediately. This means that this risk cannot happen, and that for that reason the water park must take precautions and have procedures in place where they do daily checkups of the equipment of the water park. So actions like this, actions like people drowning, can be prevented. Evaluating case 2 risk. The magnitude of this risk is high, and the risk is acceptable, but do warrant treatment. The risk is acceptable because the owner of the water park may have not known about the accident that occurred at his or her establishment, but when they do find out, they do need to warrant treatment immediately to the risk and getting it solved. Evaluating case 3 risk. The risk will take a big hit onto the water park, but the magnitude of the risk is at medium level. The risk is acceptable at this risk is more so a state issue amongst the 3 states that share the Lake Lanier water.
To treat the risk for case 1, employing more security and/or staff to the water park to ensure safety of attendees of the park would be the biggest solution. Lanier is known for whirlpools as well as bacteria being in the water of the lake. More employees and staff would be able to properly cover the water park's grounds. For case 2, the park would ensure that there is proper surveillance of the area at all times. This surveillance will cover all necessary areas and prevent any false claims to prevail or suits to be filed. For case 3, find proper settlement with all parties involved in any circumstance at any given time. This will prevent future complications as well as prevent past issues from arising. Monitoring the risks is the next step. For case 1, individuals have to conduct weekly and/or monthly visits to see effectiveness of increased number of staff. Once the results are recorded, these individuals would have to accommodate to any issues found in the water park. For case 2, routine checkups on equipment to ensure no tampering has taken place to the equipment and all systems are running properly. Make sure the establishment, which in this case is Lanier Island, allows proper allocation of the budget to said checkups and equipment. As for case 3, meet with all necessary officials of each parties to come to an agreement. Allocate all necessary amounts of water for all 3 parties in the case to be satisfied. The conclusion for these cases are the fact that they are easily solved. However, due to the negligence, such problems arise. And with proper care and handling and proper steps taken in place, all of these could have been prevented.